Hey everyone, welcome back to Ever Curious, where we delve into the weird, the mysterious, and the mind-bending. I'm Miska, and today we're traveling back some 5,000 years to the chalk plains of Wilt, England, to investigate one of the world's most enduring puzzles. Stonehenge. Now, I know what you're thinking, another video about Stonehenge. But hold on, we're going to look at this ancient wonder from a fresh perspective. Was Stonehenge built as a giant astronomical calendar? A precise clock for the cosmos? Or was it a sacred ritual power zone for our Neolithic ancestors? A place where the worlds of the living and the dead met? Stick with me, because the answer might surprise you.
Ever Curious, learn what you love.
Let's set the scene. Stonehenge wasn't built overnight. It was a massive, multi-generational project, starting around 3000 BC, with the main stone circle we recognize today being erected around 2500 BC. Just think about that. That's older than the Great Pyramids of Giza. The sheer effort is staggering. These enormous sarsen stones, some weighing over 40 tons, were dragged across the landscape. And the smaller blue stones, they're the real mystery. Geologists have traced them all the way to Wales, about 150 miles, or 240 kilometers away. How and why did they transport these massive rocks over such a distance, with only rudimentary tools? Whatever the purpose, it must have been incredibly important. What we know for sure is that from the ground, the layout is anything but random. Its main axis aligns perfectly with the sunrise on the summer solstice and the sunset on the winter solstice. But the big question remains: why? What did these stones truly mean to the people who sacrificed so much to build it? The purpose of Stonehenge is still fiercely debated among experts today. So, let's break down the two headline theories that dominate the conversation. Theory A. Stonehenge was a sophisticated astronomical observatory, or a giant calendar, a way to track the sun, the moon, and the seasons. And Theory B. Stonehenge was primarily a ritual monument, a ceremonial center for gatherings, funerals, and connecting with the ancestors. For the rest of this video, we're going to dive deep into the evidence for each of these ideas and see where the science leads us. Let's start with the astronomy angle. The evidence is compelling. If you were to stand in the very center of the circle on the longest day of the year, the summer solstice, you'd see the sun rise perfectly over the heelstone, which stands just outside the main circle. Then, on the shortest day, the winter solstice, you'd see the sun set precisely between the two uprights of the tallest stone structure. That's too precise to be a coincidence. But it doesn't stop there. Some researchers have argued that the four station stones, which form a rectangle around the main circle, even the prestigious Royal Astronomical Society has acknowledged that the builders of Stonehenge were communities with a clear and deep interest in the sky above them. All of this strongly suggests that the stones weren't just placed there for decoration. The heavens mattered a lot. Now, I'm not suggesting these Neolithic builders were astronomers in our modern sense, with telescopes and complex mathematics, but they were clearly experts. They were tracking the seasons, the sun's journey, and perhaps even the more complex cycles of the moon. This would have been vital for farming, for planning, and for marking the passage of time. But is that the whole story? Was it just an observatory, or a calendar? Let's hold that thought. Now, let's switch gears and explore the ritual and ceremonial interpretation, which has equally powerful evidence. Excavations at Stonehenge have uncovered something profound: cremated human remains. In one area alone, the remains of about 150 individuals were found, making it one of the largest Neolithic cemeteries in Britain. This immediately points to a powerful connection with the dead, with ancestors, and with the afterlife. Stonehenge wasn't just for the living, it was a place for the spirits. And it's not just the stone circle itself, the entire surrounding landscape is filled with clues. There's the Stonehenge Avenue, a processional path that connects the monument to the River Avon. Nearby, archaeologists have found the remains of huge timber circles, like Woodhenge, which may have been ceremonial sites for the living, contrasting with the stone monument for the dead. This suggests grand processions, seasonal festivals, and ritual movements across the entire landscape. What's even more fascinating is that recent research indicates the very spot might have been chosen because natural landforms on Salisbury Plain, ridges and gullies, left over from the Ice Age, already aligned with the solstice sun. This means the builders didn't just impose their ideas on the land. They saw the land itself as sacred and leveraged its natural features. In short, Stonehenge seems to be a place that both marks celestial events and is a sacred place for ancestors and ceremony. So, when we ask the question, was it for ritual or was it for astronomy? We might be asking the wrong question. It might not be an either-or situation. For the people who built Stonehenge, it was almost certainly the cycles of the heavens and the rituals of life and death were probably seen as two sides of the same coin, intimately connected. The movement of the sun wasn't just an abstract event. It was a divine signal that governed the seasons, the harvest, and the spiritual world. Let's weigh the evidence. The strength of the astronomy view lies in those undeniable alignments to the solstices and the strong evidence for lunar tracking. The sheer effort of construction proves that marking time was of monumental importance. But the weakness? Some scholars pushed back hard against the idea that it was a precise, day-to-day calendar. For instance, one academic paper called the idea of a full-fledged Stonehenge calendar that could track every single day totally unsubstantiated and based on forced interpretations. It's one thing to mark the solstice, it's another to function like a modern calendar. Now for the ritual view, its strengths are powerful. The presence of human remains points directly to funerary or ancestral significance. The wider ceremonial landscape with its avenues and other monuments strongly suggests large-scale gatherings. The very design of the space feels like it was meant for ritual use. The weakness? Well, a monument can be aligned to the sun and still be primarily for ritual. The alignment might just be a symbolic bonus rather than the main purpose. So, where does that leave us? Today. The consensus among many leading archaeologists is that we need to view Stonehenge as a fusion of both. It was a place where the sky, the seasons, the ancestors, and the living community all came together. One compelling theory suggests it was a monument of unification, built to bring together different peoples from across Britain. A place to celebrate their eternal connections to their ancestors and to the cosmos itself. So, as we wrap this up, let's go back to our original question. Stonehenge was not just a giant Stone Age telescope, and it wasn't just a random pile of rocks for chanting. It was something far more profound, far more nuanced. It was a sacred theater where the drama of the cosmos was played out on Earth, a place deeply tied to nature, time, death, and life. The next time you find yourself looking up at the sun or the moon, take a moment. Think of those Neolithic farmers and builders who did the exact same thing thousands of years ago on the plains of They moved tons of stone, hauled them for hundreds of miles, and aligned them with the sun and moon, all to anchor their lives, their beliefs, and their community within the vast sweep of time. So, was Stonehenge built for astronomy? Yes, absolutely, in a profound way. Was it built for ritual? Without a doubt. And for its builders, the two were inseparable. Thanks for watching, Ever Curious. If you enjoyed this journey back in time, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you won't miss our next curious dive. Until next time, stay curious.